All right, I'm getting ready to read Conquering Your Fears by Lindy M. Jinks of East Middle School in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She's a fourth grader. and as I read, I want you guys to pay particularly close attention to what stage of the game we're in. See, this right here would be the introduction. Okay? So as I read, I want you to pay close attention to that. So, Conquering Your Fears. Everyone, well, almost everyone I've ever known has thought of their years in elementary school as their favorites. I, on the other hand, do not feel so fondly about elementary school, especially third grade. That was a year I will never forget. All right, you see, she's got a nice little introduction here, and I like her voice. I like the way she sounds and the way she's talking. Find your voice. How do you want to approach it? Okay? Let's keep going. Oops, I needed that one. Okay, let's keep going. Now we have the body, right? Let's do it right here. I was only 8, but I remember it like yesterday. I was sitting in the doctor's office when they gave my parents and me the shocking news. I'm sorry to tell you this, but your daughter's condition is getting worse. The only way to fix it is by surgery. So now we're in the body of the story, and I'm getting the idea that she chose this paragraph to kind of introduce the problem, right? Right here, she introduced the problem. I like how she used quotation marks for the talking parts of it. So look at this little fourth grader and how well she uses grammar, right? I was only 8, but I remember it like yesterday. Isn't that a line you could steal from her? Sure, you could steal that. All right, let's keep going. Now we're on to details and background information. So let's do it. Let's keep reading. All right. Those words ripped into to me like a serrated knife into a crisp, cold apple. Listen to that imagery. That's like the coolest simile I've ever heard. Those words ripped into me like a serrated knife into a crisp, cold apple. Can you come up with some clever wording or some figurative language like that to make your story pop? It was a horrible sinking feeling that seemed to possess my whole body. Oof, that's so cool. A feeling so terrifying that even the bravest person alive could not possibly endure it. Right? She's trying to get you to feel like she felt. She's trying to get you to feel there. Right? Like she felt. Don't you want to try to get your readers to feel like you were feeling that day? I hope so. All right, let's keep going. I knew I'd been sick, and I knew it had been serious. And here's background information. But I never in my nightmares did I think of surgery. You see, I was born with a condition that affects your kidneys. It is called bilateral reflux. The only way I would live was to have reconstructive surgery. All right, so now she's finally, after introducing her problem, she is in her first event. So you have to maybe break your story down into how many events your story has. Like think of your story in terms of I'm going to introduce my problem and then I'm going to go through my events. So let's check her first event out. Here it is. Right there. Event 1. Details and thoughts, event 1. The next thing I remember, it was 7 o'clock in the morning and I was at the hospital. I met with the doctors. Rather, the doctors met with me. Everyone tried to comfort me, but nothing helped as far as I was concerned. And I was concerned. Don't you like the way that's written there? I'd be a nervous wreck for the rest of my life. That was, if I had a rest of my life. See how she's building up that drama? Can you think of a way you can build up the drama in yours? So the first event is real simple. Hospital. Right? That's the first event when she was at the hospital. Let's see the next event. Event 2, right? Here we go. All right. Event 2. It was now time for surgery. They sent a surgical nurse down to my room with a gurney. Being the scared little girl that I was, isn't that nice? You got to just come up with that kind of stuff. I thought the moment I got up on it, they would hurt me. So I decided that my teddy bear, Rainbow, and I would follow along behind it, very defiantly, with my parents. When the doctors saw me walk in, they started to laugh, and I realized that everyone else who had seen me probably laughed too. All right, so she's describing her second event is her walk to the ER, right? The emergency room or surgery, right? All right. So there we go. Let's keep going. I think we're still on event 2 here. They probably laughed too. What was comic relief to them was no comedy at all for me. So I simply put my nose into the air and kept walking. All right, here's event 3. Event 3. All right. Now, let's get it. Okay, here we go. The nurse prepped me and had me lie down on the operating table. The doctor asked me what flavor of anesthesia I wanted. I thought for a while and answered strawberry. He then asked me to count backward from 1 to 100 as he lifted the mask over my face. I woke up a few hours later feeling woozy and very sore. I saw my parents and drifted back to sleep. So the third event was the actual surgery, right? That was the third event. So she broke it into 3 events, right? Hospital, the walk to the surgery operating room, and then the surgery. Those are the 3 events, 3 different paragraphs, right? All right, let's keep going right along. Later events, so after the surgery, right? What did she learn? What happened? So it's all put together. I remained at the hospital for 1 more week. It was not the best time I ever had, but it wasn't the worst either. The highlight of my recovery was a special visit from 2 of my favorite cartoon characters. That was wonderful. Conclusion. Now, the significance of the experience. Why was it important to you to write about it? My experience has taught me a lot. Dude, you could actually use that line, right? This experience has taught me a lot, or something like that. I discovered that in order to reach the top, you must learn to climb the mountain. And in order to conquer your fears, you must face them first. In a way, I'm thankful for my surgery because I conquered a lot of my fears. I'm not telling you to go out and have surgery, but if you do, it's probably not going to be as bad as you expect it to be. The end. All right, you guys, that is the breakdown of a 4th grade personal narrative. I hope you can take how she structured it, some of her language, and the way she found her voice and the way she said things into account when you come up with yours. Maybe find your own voice. Maybe find interesting and great anecdotal ways to say things more interestingly, right? All right, Mr. T out.